Can this marshmallow make you a better golfer? No. But two can. Hi, Nathan Smith here, the Mental Golfer. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notifications so you know when the next video comes out. Imagine something that you wish you were better at. Driving, putting, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Now imagine that you had started working specifically on that a year ago. How much better would you be? Or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago? How much better would you be now if you'd started working on that? That's how much better you'll be a year from now, 2 years from now, if you start focusing on that and do it from now on. That's what this video is about. It's about instant gratification versus delayed gratification. Whatever that thing is that you want to work on, make it a priority over the course of a year. Don't think that you're going to get better at it this weekend. Go out and practice it. Hit a few shots on the range and you're going to do well this weekend. It's not going to happen. That's artificial practice. It's not going to make you better in the long run. It's not going to make you a better golfer. It might improve your score that weekend, but then you'll lapse the next weekend. That's why your scores go up and down and up and down, and you don't consistently get better over time. Stick with me for a little bit. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on instant gratification versus delayed gratification and how it can help you. Back to the marshmallow. In the 1970s, there was a test. It's called the marshmallow test or marshmallow experiment, right? They tested 3 to 5 year old children and gave them a marshmallow, put it on the plate in front of them and said, you can have this marshmallow, you can eat it whenever you want, or wait 15 minutes and have 2. The children that waited, the children that practiced delayed gratification, had higher SAT scores, they did better in school, they did better, they got higher paying jobs. They tracked this all the way until they were adults. Other examples of instant gratification versus delayed gratification is eating a cheeseburger rather than healthy food, right? That's something that's going to give you high calories, it's going to make you feel good, but then you're going to come down and it's not worth it, right? But if you eat healthy food, maybe it doesn't taste as good, maybe it doesn't give you that hot initial high, but in the long run, that's going to make you feel better. You're going to be in better shape. Also, adding exercise to that. That's something that you don't see benefits of right away, but over time, you know that there are great benefits for it. Another example would be learning a skill or a trade. It takes several years in some cases to learn that, and in the end you get a job, you get a career out of it. This can be applied to golf in exactly the same way. For example, Bryson DeChambeau right now is hitting the driver 330 yards, and he started working on this 2-3 years ago when he started working out. He used to be like 180, 190 pounds. Now he's 230 pounds of mostly muscle, and he's driving the ball past everyone. And he's also in the top of the leaderboard all the time now too. That didn't happen overnight. He put a lot of hard work over several years to get to that point. And he made that a priority over those years. This exact same thing happened to me actually a few years ago, 2 years ago actually. I was shooting around in the high 70s, low 80s, right around there. I knew that in order to get to scratch where I wanted to be, I was only driving the ball about 240, 250 yards, and I needed to hit it further than that. I spent about 8 months making that a priority, going out and working out almost every day for 8 months, trying to increase that. I increased my club head speed from about 100, 102 miles per hour to about 107 to 108 miles per hour over those 8 months. My scores got worse. This is where the instant gratification versus delayed gratification comes in. My accuracy went out the window. I was hitting the ball further, but I was hitting it out of bounds in the trees, and my handicap got worse. It got higher. I knew that if I stuck with it, I would be hitting the ball further, and I could hone in that accuracy, and then my scores would drop, and that's exactly what happened. My handicap went from about where it was when we started this, was about 9 or 10, down to 2. 1.8 is where it finished last year. And now, the last 2 rounds, I've shot under par, actually. And I know that that's a direct result from increasing that distance and then honing it in and putting that time and that work in over years, over 2 years, and focusing on that work for 2 years rather than just focusing on what I can do to maybe get my chipping a little bit better and my putting just a little bit better for this weekend. I still worked on those things because I still wanted to go out and shoot good scores, but my scores actually got worse while I was working on this, but I knew in the end that they would get better. Another example of how you can apply this is on driving accuracy, right? You get up on the tee box and you don't know exactly what's going to happen when you do certain motions. You can't quite feel it when you're up there. You don't know if it's going to go, if you're going to hit a fade, hit a draw. You don't really know where the ball is going to go. Just imagine if you had started working a year before on just hitting draws and fades on the driving range. You would know exactly the motion that causes that fade, that causes that draw. You would know what not to do. Say you're on the tee box and you have water down the left, out of bounds or trees over on the right. You want to start it just right of that water and hit a little fade off of that water, right? Or start it over at the trees and hit a draw, whichever one you want to do. If you work for a year, just take every time you're out at the driving range, you want to hit your balls, go through your process out on the driving range, but just take 5 or 10 balls and set them to the side. And at the end, take out your driver and hit, really get your shoulder down and just hit a big slice. Yank one straight to the left. And do that intentionally so you know the feeling that causes that. And if you do that over time, you're going to know exactly what it takes. You can hone that in, narrow that in. And a year from now, if you do that, just 5 balls. 5 balls every time you're on the range, just hit 5 bad shots that you know are going to be bad, right? But you're going to know the motion. You're going to start to understand the motion that it takes to get those balls to draw, to fade, and you're going to start being more accurate. You're going to start seeing more accuracy out there because you're going to know when I do this, the ball's going to do that. And that's going to get you where you want to be. And that's work that you can just put in. It's just a small amount of work that you dedicate over time to getting better. And it will work. I hope these tips work out for you. Apply delayed gratification rather than instant gratification. You will get better at the things that you want to get better at in the long run. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, add comments, and hit notifications so you know when the next video comes out. Thanks.